So having been enamored of the process of matching gifts with the Japanese chair and knowing that the mortgage match was still available and there was a increasingly diminishing amount of money in the pot, myself and our BOV members felt it was really critical, if we could do it, if we could muster enough funds to take advantage of this match. And so few of us, we are only 5, committed to a certain amount of money, which still left us a long way to go, but is significant enough to get us about 20% of the way there. And it was a conversation that I had with a former department head about another alumna who is not on our board and her interest in Middle Eastern art. And this alumna came to my gallery, and this is just prior to the advent of COVID. And she loved my gallery. She had never been there before. We'd each heard about each other, but we had never met. And she was off to Morocco with her friend. And obviously that trip didn't happen. And she went home back to Wisconsin. And in another conversation, I decided to call that former department head and said, maybe you'd like to talk to her and see if she's interested in helping us now, because now we can do it for half price. So that led to a conversation with the current department head, the past department head, with the foundation involvement, and very joyfully, she thought it was a great idea too. And then also the rest of our BOV joined in, and we were able to set up this really critical appointment for Jennifer, which hopefully one day will turn into a professorship, money allowing, in the near future. But we've got our big foot in the door, and it was very exciting. And the joint effort, which is unusual for this kind of fundraising, a communal effort, made all the difference. And I think it made it even more gratifying that it was a team project. One of the silver linings to having implemented a chaired or endowed position is the power of one's voice in effectuating academic stability and economic stability going forward in times of financial stress and even a pandemic, that your voice has much more credibility. It's more in tune with the powers that be because of your commitment to the institution. So you could yell and scream all you want that you want a retired position filled during a hiring freeze just because you want it, and you will not have anyone listen to you. But if the money literally is in the bank and the university has committed to having a chair in that position and you have a retirement, your voice will be heard with far more credibility, and you will have access to at least vocalize how important filling that position is. So to be transparent, if you will, at the moment we have the wonderful Gene Phillips retiring from the Japanese art history position, and his last class, if you will be this spring. He's been there for so many decades I can't count, but obviously he was not there when I was there because there was nobody. But Gene has been the first and the only full-time faculty person in Japanese art history. And this is the golden moment to hire someone. In my field, there are a lot of people who are without employment. There are many people in the museum industry who've been put on furlough, who don't know what's going to happen with their institution and are looking for a change. And to have a chaired position that is fully funded with all the bells and whistles that go with that, including sabbatical and travel and research monies, all of that is incredibly enticing and alluring. And to be at a university like Madison that is not in an urban environment, has research capabilities of a monumental level, would be enticing for someone to move to Madison with a family, with a good school system, and to do this now, not 2 years from now, when everybody else is getting back on board. The other thing is that for instance, the Ivy League universities have chosen to accept no new graduate students starting in September. That's not great for morale. And you've got people who can't be there, and museums, the Ivy League, all the museums that I'm aware of are still closed. The Chazen is open by certain hours, but it is open and it's a more public institution. It's much more inviting. So we should be waving the flag come September to try and maybe seduce the best and the brightest from wherever they may be right now to come and either be a senior faculty member or a junior member who will work up to the chair position.